Good afternoon, everybody. It's Debbie with the Pickin Coop Farmstead, and I've already done a seed starting video, but if you might have noticed, I took it down because I had a huge brain fart. It had a lot of good information in there, but I told you the wrong starting date. So first of all, let me go over what you need for seed starting. You're going to have some kind of containers. I use solo cups. I think these are from Dollar General. I like these better because they're narrower and you can fit more in your tray of sorts. You're going to need a leak-proof tray to put them in. I've seen where people will put holes in the bottom of these, which you have to have for drainage. Then they'll put a solid cup on the bottom for drainage. But I like it better when they're in some kind of either metal or plastic tray. This is just like a little Rubbermaid or Sterilite tray that I got from a gal at a thrift store that I bought a bunch of mason jars from. And she said I could have this. So I thought that's perfect for seed starting because there's no lid. You're going to need a container or bucket. I buy Sun Grow is the brand. It's called Black Gold. It's organic soil. I've been using it for the past 2 seasons, and it's a beautiful soil. So I fill this up. I think this is like a 2-3 gallon bucket. I fill that up. I had a lot of water just to dampen it. You don't want it saturated. You're going to need a roll of, I use painter's tape to reseal my envelopes, and the reason for that is it's easy to peel back off without tearing your seed packet, because your seed packet has a lot of information on it that's very useful. Then you're going to need some little plant stakes. These are all I have left, and I have a bunch out in the garden. I need to go retrieve and clean them up and wipe them off. If you don't have those, don't worry. Save your yogurt containers. I just cut them up the sides, and then they're solid white on the inside, and then I just mark on those. And I have been using a permanent marker, but they fade in the sun and they're not water resistant. And I just went to a wonderful seed class yesterday by my friend over at Hummingbird Farms. Her name is Fern. She's awesome. This woman has been gardening for a long time. She's very knowledgeable. She uses a #2 pencil, and she says it doesn't fade and it stays on your marker. So I'm actually going to try that today. And you're going to need your seeds, of course. So you've got seeds, container, dirt, you've got plant markers, and the next thing you need to do is I have recategorized my seeds according to the plant date. So what you're going to need to do, first of all, before you figure out what you're going to plant, you need to look, or once you figure out what you're going to plant, you're going to look at the back of your seed packet. This is peppermint, organic Fairy Mars peppermint. And on the back of the seed packet, let me focus that in. I don't know if you can see that or not. It'll say, start seed indoors 8 to 10 weeks prior to your last frost. So I live close to 3,000 feet. So rule of thumb here where I live is usually May 1st, it's safe to plant. So I always count May 1st as my last frost date. Now last year, it snowed on May 1st, so you have to watch the weather. It's not set in stone. And so what you want to do, it'll tell you how long it takes to germinate, 12 to 15 days. So what I normally do is I find May 1st on the calendar, and then I just count backwards. This is 8 to 10 weeks. I tend to go to the larger amount of time. So I need 10 weeks, then I give it an extra week for germination. So that's about 11 weeks before your last frost. And you're going to keep these indoor in your house, in a greenhouse if you have one, if you can keep it warm enough. So that's what you need to do. So hold on and we'll get going on actually planting. I was having trouble with my little start stop button. Okay, so I've got the seeds I want to plant. I've already figured on February 1st, February 20th is my planting date. And so I want to, oh, I forgot to grab a pencil. We're going to try the pencil. Hold on. All right, I've got my number 2 pencil. I have my tags. And I'm going to be planting peppermint. So I want to write on my tag peppermint. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing here. This is right in the way. Let's see. That's okay. You get the gist of it. So I'm going to put peppermint. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my little tag in my pot. And then these, I think, are teeny weeny tiny seeds. So rule of thumb on seeds, you only want to plant them as deep as twice the width that they are. So these are little teeny weeny, I mean smaller than a pinhead. I'm just going to sprinkle them on top of this soil here. And this is where your tape comes in. And I just tape, you can't see a darn thing I'm doing, can you? I'm sorry. We're just going to tape this closed. And it works really well, and it usually comes right off and reseals your packet, just like that. So unless your packet says otherwise, it says 1/16 of an inch. So on something that tiny, what I like to do is just kind of pat down the soil. You can't even really, you don't even want to sprinkle soil on top of that. So this one is done. We're going to set that one off to the side. I'm so tickled about this trick. Thank you, Fern, very much. And I'm going to link Hummingbird Farms on this video so you can go follow her on Facebook. She has beautiful plants that she sells. I think she has fruit trees, so she sells the fruit. And it's just amazing. She's so knowledgeable. Okay, so the next thing I want to plant I have these, I got them at Dollar General. Yes, I too buy seeds from Dollar General and Dollar Tree. It's either the Ford Hook Torpedo onions, I believe. Italian torpedo. You can never have too many onions. I have not been successful growing onions yet. But I will. I'm going to keep at it. So, onions are another one of those seeds that are really, really small. They're not as small as peppermint. I have to grab some scissors here. But I plant many, many seeds. And then as they grow up 2 to 3 inches, you give them a haircut. And keep doing that until you are ready to plant them outdoors, and you just tease them apart. And we'll make a video on that. All right, so this one says, it does not say how many days before your last frost, but if it does not, you can look it up on the internet. Now let me show you how small these are. I'll probably do half of this package, which seems like a lot, but it truly isn't. So they're pretty small. So again, I'm just going to sprinkle them around on the soil, kind of tamp them down a little bit. These you can actually add a little bit of soil to the top. And then we forgot to make ours. These are torpedo onions. I'll just call them torp onion. And these ones are ready to go. Now I have planted some onions already, but I think they were Walla Walla and some other kinds of red onions. I forget what they were. So on my tape, I have the wide tape. That's just what I had on hand, and it's left over from, I used to refurnish furniture a lot. So waste not, want not, right? All right, and then I just tear it down the middle. It doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to do the job for you. And then I just seal this up. And then I'm gonna cut the ends off. You make it too long, otherwise you kind of have a mess. So just like that. And I keep all my seeds out off to the side as I plant them because I write this all down in my garden journal. I have a garden journal. I've been doing one for 3 years now, and it's a wonderful reference tool. Okay, so I have a different kind of onions. These are from MI Gardener. I'll link them. I would say like 90% of my seeds, 95 from these guys. They're wonderful, small, family-owned business, excellent customer service, and their seeds are reasonable. They always send you, they used to send you a free seed packet, but now they send you a, just an envelope, like a fancy envelope that you can write if you're saving your own seeds, which it really encourages people to do that, I think, which is super, super smart. That's a whole nother video though. So we're gonna go ahead, and this one says 8 to 10 weeks before last frost. And then it will say germination days 4 to 10. Onions are pretty quick as long as you don't plant them too deep. So I go by, I'll add a week to that. So 11 weeks is what I counted backwards on from May 1st. Now wherever you live, you might be able to plant sooner, or you might not even be able to plant till later. It just depends on your area. Now, if you go down, we live way up in the mountains, like I said, we're at, I think 26 or 2,700 feet. And we still get snow, sleet, hail, all that good stuff when everybody else down the mountain in the valley is planting. And I belong to all these gardening sites on Facebook, local ones, and I get so discouraged sometimes because everyone's going, oh my gosh, I'm able to eat my first tomato. And I'm like, holy cow, I just got my tomatoes in the ground, you know, but you get used to it. And you know what? There's farmers markets too. All right, again, you're sprinkling these seeds on the top. I'm just going to kind of stir them around, put a little on top, tamp them down just gently, don't press them down hard. Now, MI Gardener too is kind of cool because they'll put this gummy substance on there. And that, a lot of times, will allow you to reseal this. It usually will only last one time, but I put my tape on just to be on the safe side. You don't want to waste any wonderful seeds ever. Now, hopefully, I will get to the point where I can actually grow my onions. I think it's a soil problem. I've got that red clay soil, and I just recently had to do raised beds. I was doing no-till. The Charles Dowding method, which that guy's fabulous. If you've never heard of him, you need to go follow him on Facebook and Instagram. He is wonderful. But due to massive gophers, we had to build all these beds, put wire in them, so we're starting from scratch. We had to use the backhoe to go in and dig up all this soil, and yeah, it was not fun. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing my planting, and then I'll come back and show you what I have planted. Okay, I have everything planted in my February 20th planting category I have over here. Next thing you're going to do, get yourself a mister. My friend Fern that did the class from Hummingbird Farms yesterday had a wonderful idea. They sell those little pump sprayers. They hold like a gallon of water, I think. I have one I bought last year to put my worm tea in that I make, my worm composting tea. It works great for that. Well, she said instead of having to keep filling this up, and you don't have to press, you pump it up and you can spread the nozzle to where it just keeps spraying. And when you have as many seeds as we do, it just makes it so much easier. So you're gonna, even though your soil is wet, oh, I don't want to get my seeds wet. Let's turn it this way. Don't do this next to your seeds. If your seeds do accidentally get wet, just take them out of the package, put them on a paper plate or a paper towel, let them dry out completely, and they should be just fine. And then just put them in an envelope and mark everything you need to know about that seed on there. But just make sure these are nice and wet. And then you're going to put them under some lights. And I have, let me put mine, I'm going to use this whole tray, because once we get these growing, I like to bottom water, which means you're going to put the water down in this tray. And I usually try to keep, maybe that much water in it. And then you can watch them, because you're watching them twice a day, every time. And then you're still going to have to top mist them when they're under the lights, because the top will get dry, and you do not want your seeds to get dry. The seeds they're designed to only have enough energy to push themselves once they germinate up to the top of the soil. And if that soil is dry and hard, it will just zap your seedlings like that. And after all your hard work, you don't want that to happen. So I'm going to put these under the lights, and I'll show them to you once I'm done. All right, here they are under the lights. I have one of these wonderful, they're huge. They're like 4 foot long, 18 inches deep. They have, don't mind my ugly floor, they have wheels on them. They have them at Costco for $99. I got mine on Amazon. This thing is has the potential to be like 7 feet tall, I think. But these are what we just planted. These lights are Harbor Freight lights. They're not exactly grow lights, but they are 5,500 lumens. And as you can see, they work really, 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 really well. And as your days get longer, you leave more light on. I have these wonderful, cute little fig trees, without making you dizzy, I got from my friend Shay of Shay's Garden. She sells those. So log on to her Facebook page and hit her up if you need figs. These are called Desert King, I believe. And they look and kind of taste like strawberries on the inside. So I'm really excited to grow those. So hit her up for that. So that's what that looks like. And I only keep these on right now, probably about 8 to 10 hours. As the days get longer, I just keep bumping them up, bumping them up. And you want to keep, as you can see, very close to about 2 inches. These I'm going to have to move the lights up because they're growing right up into the lights. Those are ready to move up. This was my mistake on my first video. Planting beans this early. Isn't that insane? They already have their true leaves on them. I'm gonna have to put them, Fern suggested putting them in a bigger pot and maybe putting them in my mudroom, which there's no heat out there, but it's not cold like it is outside, and the coolness should slow down the growth. So that's my project for tomorrow anyway. So anywho, this is what we have. Mostly a lot of pepper. So now I'll show you everything that I planted. So come along. Okay, so here we go. And all these are going to go in my journal. And there's a really cool thing that I just downloaded and printed out. I'll show you. It's awesome. And I'll put a link in there so you could go to her thing and download. It's a seed starting schedule of when you planted, what you planted, where you planted it, how many you planted, that type of thing. So it's a great thing to have in case something doesn't work out or it worked really well. You're going to want to know about it next year. Enough of that. So these are M.I. Gardner. These are pepperoncini peppers, which I grew last year. Very prolific, and I pickled them and they were absolutely delicious because we buy them in the jars to put on our salad, especially in the summertime, and we go through a lot of them, and they're super easy to grow and delicious. They taste so much better than the stuff in the store. This is a Dollar Tree seed, 4 for $1.25, It's a popular eggplant, Black Beauty. We don't eat a lot of eggplant, but I want to make baba ganoush. I absolutely love it. If you don't know what that is, it's a Middle Eastern dish. It is like a dip, like hummus, but instead of chickpeas, you're going to be using, I think it's roasted and then blended eggplant. It's delicious, and you just dip pita bread, pita chips, whatever, vegetables, whatever in it. And it's really good for you too. Tabasco peppers. I grew some of those last year. I think my sister gave me the seeds, and I got them planted late. And so just about the time it was time for them to produce, they started blooming, and yeah, it got too cold. Peppers don't like it cold. They like it hot. Anaheim chilies. These are very, very prolific in my gardener. Serranos. I love serranos, but for some weird reason I never have grown them before. I'm always doing jalapenos. Serranos are a little hotter. These should be very prolific. And on all of these peppers, I only planted 3 each because I planted so many different peppers. My sister gave me these. These are anchos, which I'm going to dry some. And then the others, I kind of want to try doing chili rellenos and stuff these with cheese and stuff, and then maybe I can freeze them and then put them in a shrink wrap bag and try it that way, like a seal meal bag. These sweet peppers are burpee. I've grown these for 4 years now. They're very prolific, delicious. Giant Marconi. This is one that Jessica Sowers grows from Roots and Refuge. Sorry, my throat's getting dry. And she swears by these, says they're delicious. They're sweet peppers. I'm really excited to grow these. These are a giant Marconi. These are shishito peppers. Again, a Jessica Sowers from Roots and Refuge recommends this type of pepper. She blisters them on like cast iron and then makes like a garlic aioli and dips them in that. I thought, oh, that sounds good. I have been trying to find these for several years now, and I finally got some. I ordered these from a company called Siskiyou Seeds. I found them when we went to Idaho last year, and so I bought some seeds then when we went to the Modern Homesteading Convention or festival, whatever it was called. And I bought several seeds from him, cabbage and different things, and I just ordered some more because I found that he had those. Cayenne long stem peppers in my gardener. These things are super, super prolific. I got so many. I'm so excited. I got them dried, so I'm going to blend a bunch up, and I'm going to powder them and use them for cooking, and then also for a healing salve that I make. I'm going to try making it with my tallow. And then pumpkin spice jalapenos. They look different, but they taste just like a jalapeno. They're just colored. And then the Pompeii onions, which I already talked about, and the torpedo onions, and then the peppermint. I have wild mint growing around here. It grows around all the waterways, but I tried transplanting it, and I don't know what I did wrong, unless I didn't water it enough. I think it takes a lot of water. So anyways, that's going to go in a tub because anything in the mint family is very invasive. So wherever you plant it, you want it contained. So that's really all I have for you. I'm going to try to remember to put all these links in the comments for you. And then I think that's it. If you have any questions or comments, helpful hints, that type of thing, just put them in the comments and I'll get back to you. So I hope you are having a great day. I hope the sun is shining where you are. Be healthy, happy, and safe. And God bless you all. Bye-bye.